Hello everybody, it's Slushy and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing a movie review on a film that I hold near and dear to my heart, and that's the FNAF 2 movie. I saw it this last Sunday, and I have to do a review on it. I was looking through my channel and I was like, I haven't done a movie review, like a proper movie review, in quite a while. So, what better film to start with than the FNAF 2 movie? So, as you guys know, I'm a huge FNAF fan. I'm not going to go into how long I've been a fan, why I'm a fan, what led to me in being in this point, sitting on my floor, crisscross applesauce, hands in my lap right now at 3 o'clock in the morning, do a movie review about a film that I saw a couple days ago. I'm not going to go into all that, okay, except for the fact that I'm sitting here crisscross applesauce, hands in my lap, because it's the best position to film this video, and plus I like this backdrop of Michael Myers and my various collectibles on the shelf. It just looks cool, okay, so I'm sorry. Give me a break. I could do green screen and be in like the Freddy's office, but I'd rather just do this. Anybody can do the green screen thing. I can do the green screen thing. I don't want to do it. This is original to me. Nobody else has this setup. Unless you copy this, at which point... Anyways, so I'm not going to go into spoilers. I actually just filmed a version of this where I was kind of delving into stuff, and I was like, I don't like that. You know, I don't want to release that because... even if I put no spoilers in the title, I feel like there's still going to be someone who's going to click on it, and I don't want to upset people. So I'm not going to do spoilers. There will be no spoilers in this video at all. Nothing. I'm not going to reveal a single plot detail. I'm just going to talk about what I loved about it, how much I loved it, and what score I give it out of 10. So I loved the first movie. I think the first movie was really good. Okay, I don't think it was perfect, but I feel like no matter what, I'm always going to give that film a 10 out of 10. Not because it's perfect, but because... it was an experience like nothing I've ever felt in my life. As a FNAF fan, that movie was special. I don't know how Scott felt, but when I watched that, I felt warm. I felt like I was a part of something bigger, which is weird because I had no hand in that movie at all. I wasn't a producer. I wasn't a donator to the financials of the film. I literally just bought several copies on DVD and on digital. That's all I did. And I bought merch. That's what I've done. So I had no part in that film at all. But yet, as a fan who helped craft the story over the years, you know, being a part of theories, and, you know, Scott's always used our theories to manufacture the story of FNAF. So I guess in a way, technically, every fan is a part of the FNAF story. We all helped create FNAF. So I know there's that joke, together we are FNAF, but it's true. It really is true, because without all of our crazy theories, assumptions, and thoughts, FNAF probably wouldn't be what it is. Because, as you guys know, it all started off as that just very simple, simplistic idea about 5 kids who were killed. That was it. That was the story. And then we took all the little details, the phone calls, the garbled call on night 4, and we spun that into a thing that it probably wasn't before. And then Scott manufactured that into what it's become. So therefore, we helped create FNAF. Like, he took our thoughts and made it into games. And he took the stuff that made sense. You know, obviously some of our theories were absolute ass. The ones that made sense story-wise, he took them and manufactured a really deep story out of them. I love Freddy'S, and again, I'm not going to go into everything, but that movie was special in a way that I can't explain in words exactly, but I give it a 10 out of 10 just because of how it makes me feel, how it felt to be in the theater, and everybody erupted in cheers and clapping. Both of my showings, actually. Both of my showings were like that. It was amazing. Never had it happen before until FNAF 2. So my first showing was weird. It was mostly quiet. I guess it was because of the time period, which was 5 o'clock, which is, I guess, not a good time. There wasn't a whole lot of people. There was like 7 people total, and that's including me, so I guess just 6. Why did I do 4? 6. And one of them was just this old geezer that was 2 rows ahead of me, and I don't know, he looked very uncomfortable and weird and out of place for most of the time. Old geezer, 2 rows ahead of me. I'm not trying to, you know, put you under the bus and make fun of you or whatever. I'm just saying old geezer that was 2 rows ahead of me. He didn't look to be enjoying himself too much, and that's totally fine, because this franchise isn't for everybody. Okay, it's not. I'm just being frank, okay? So this franchise is not meant for every age group, every demographic. It's for who loves it. And that's us. And I'm not saying that there's people who are outsiders to the franchise that can't watch these and enjoy them. I'm sure there is. My mom's not a horror fan. She doesn't like horror at all. And she watched both films. She liked both of them. So, and she's in her 50s. I'm not saying that people can't enjoy it if you're an outsider. I'm just saying, like, these are made for fans. Plain and simple. They're made for fans. So that essentially means that they're not going to make films catering to people who don't know the franchise. They're not going to be like, oh, well, let's do this so people who don't know anything about the franchise can figure this out. Because that's not how Scott operates. You have to understand Scott to understand how these movies are going to work. And I've seen people harp about the fact that supposedly it's impossible to understand these films based on the story because it's so complicated and you have to go watch analysis videos to understand what's going on. If that's the case, maybe you're a little mentally slow and you can't put two and two together. The story's pretty cut and dry. It's never been that complicated. It's only complicated if you spin it way out of proportion. So I'm sorry to tell you, if you get confused by it, that's your own fault. It's a very simple story. The film is way more simple than the games. So, anyways, with all that aside, I hope anybody who's like not a fan managed to enjoy the film. If not, that's okay. That's totally fine. Not everyone's going to like everything. And at the same time, I hope my fellow FNAF fans really enjoyed it because I had a freaking blast with it. This movie was amazing. It was so much better than the first one, like in every single way possible. The action was ramped up. The tension was ramped up. The scares were ramped up. The atmosphere was ramped up. The soundtrack was killer. The violence, like we're not going to get Saw and Terrifier level kind of kills in this franchise because it's never been about the violence. It's always been about telling you about a violent act that happened. It's never been, hey, look, here's this scene of William Afton stabbing the crap out of a bunch of little kids. It's never been shown like that. So, and in fact, there's even a scene in here where something like that does happen, and it's kind of one of those moments where you cover your mouth. You're like, holy crap, that just happened. It is legit. The entire opening scene of this film is just freaking mind-blowing. It gave me so many chills. I have chills right now thinking about it. It was just such a good film and beginning. And it's basically non-stop action. Once it gets going, there's like a slow part towards the beginning, and then right after that, it's like a freight train just goes, and it doesn't stop. And I love that. That's what a good middle entry to a series does. Like The Strangers Chapter 2, a slasher film that just came out a while ago. For people who don't know about the series, there's a trilogy of films called The Strangers. It's come out in the last couple of years, 2024, 2025 this year, and then next year in February it's coming out. The third one's coming out, the final one. So the first one was set up trying to set the scene. The second one was basically one long action, beginning to end. It was chase scenes all the way through. It didn't stop. It didn't let up, even until the final credits. And that's what a good second film does. It's supposed to be an anxiety ride. You're supposed to not be able to, like, get a breath. And that's how FNAF 2 is. And my God, the climax of this film is just so badass. I don't know how to explain it besides that. Like I said, not going into spoilers, but oh my God. I love this film passionately. Like Scott said in Dawko's interview, he wanted to do right by the fans, and he wanted to make this a step up over the original, which is exactly what he did, as per my opinion. This has like an 89% audience score, a 12% critic score, which of course the critics don't mean shit. They don't care about horror. They've never cared about horror. They definitely don't care about Five Nights at Freddy's. Nobody cares about Five Nights at Freddy's, except for the fans. And that's just the facts. That's not me trying to shit on FNAF. Why would I do that? It's me just saying most people who are gamers look down on FNAF. They think FNAF is cringy. They think it's stupid. They think it's overplayed. That's just the common thought process behind FNAF. That's what people think of it. They think if you like FNAF, you have to be a little child. You can't be somebody my age who's 25 who grew up with these when I was 14 years old. The first game came out. And I followed it ever since. And I feel like with some things, you move on from. Like, there's been other game franchises that have come out that I've gravitated towards, and I've just completely left them behind. Like Bendy and the Ink Machine, Hello Neighbor. There's been so many like indie horror games that have come out where I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool, you know. And then over time, I just push it away. But FNAF, it's always here, man. It's something that I can't like ever escape, even if I tried. there's been moments in my life where I was kind of not playing the games as much, like the fan games. I've always played the mainline entries. It's just I can't not do it, and I've always bought merchandise. I'm constantly buying merchandise because I just can't. I can't help it. I see one of the characters, I have to buy it. If I have the money, I have to buy it. Um, People talk about phases, like getting into my FNAF phase, my FNAF era. My FNAF era is forever. I don't think I'll ever grow out of FNAF. I'm 25 years old. I got a full-time job. I have a girlfriend, working on a possibility future of having a kid, and I'm still all about FNAF. I'm sitting here right now in the middle of the night talking about Five Nights at Freddy's to my cell phone at 25 years old. I don't know how to explain it more than that. FNAF is forever. It's literally forever. It's gonna be forever. At least in my heart, which is super cheesy, I know, but that's just how it is. And this film hits every nail on the head. I feel like if you like FNAF, even a little bit, you're gonna absolutely adore this film. If you're like me and you've been following the lore to every little nook and cranny, and you've been buying all the merch, and you've been buying all the toys, and you've been buying all the merch, everything, buying all the games, playing all the games, making the theories, I feel like you're going to come away with this film feeling special. Like at the end of the second film, when everybody clapped and cheered, I felt this warmth in my soul, and I can only imagine how Scott feels going to some of these theater auditoriums and hearing people just clap for a thing he created. Like with the games, yeah, he gets to see reviews on Steam. People saying, hey, that was a good game, cool, good job. But whenever you're sitting in a theater after putting all your hard work and energy into pinning that script, producing it, making it happen, going through all the hard work that comes with making a film, which there's a lot of hard work. People think it's just, write a script, put it to screen. It's not that easy. There's a lot of intricate parts that have to happen for a film to be made. It's a huge process, huge. One of the complaints that I saw with the first film was that it didn't even feel like the games at all. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm not going to say this film does anything super different from that, because obviously you can't have a guy staring at a computer monitor for an hour or 40 minutes. That just doesn't work. That's boring as shit. Yeah, can you imagine seeing a guy just go like this? Oh, I gotta shut the light, flash my light down the hallway, wind the music box. Oh shit! How boring that would be? That would be so boring. Even as an extreme FNAF fan, I don't want to see that shit. I want to see a different interpretation of the books and the games mixed together, because that makes a good film, and that's what he's done here. But there is a part, middle of the film, kind of getting towards the end, where you're going to be like, holy shit, this is just like the games. And I felt so fulfilled and gratified. And there's a certain character that makes an appearance here. And it's not one of the mainline characters, it's a secret character. So I implore you, when you go to the theater to watch this film, look very carefully through every scene. I'm not trying to say don't focus on the entire movie, and I'll even give you a secret. Don't look on the right side. Focus on the left side. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But there is a secret that pops up for about a millisecond. And if you look, you'll catch it. And you'll be like, holy crap. That is awesome. Even though it's just a brief thing and you barely notice it unless you're focusing on it, it was really cool. And I was like, holy crap, he did that for us. He's made these films for us. And I couldn't thank him enough. This film was freaking phenomenal. I can't give it a 10 out of 10. I can't on good faith give it a 10 out of 10. I have to give it 100 out of 10. And I hope that doesn't increase people's hypes to the point where they're like, oh my god, this guy just says this is the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm not going to go there and say it, because it obviously isn't going to win any Oscars. It's not going to win awards. But in my heart, it couldn't have been any more perfect. If I was to make a FNAF film, there might be little small things I would change, but for the most part, unlike the first film, this is probably what I would make. This is probably the film that I would have put together. And That's the best I could say about it. It literally is what I would create if I was the one responsible for the film. So 100 out of 10 for the FNAF 2 movie, and I cannot wait for the third movie. Oh my god. Anyways, I gotta get this edited and uploaded. I'm too antsy, and I need to go to sleep. I got work. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit like if you did. Please go check out the movie, buy the merch, buy the popcorn buckets and such, the cups, the posters, everything. Support the franchise. Scott's a great guy. He deserves all the support in the world. And even besides Scott, Blumhouse, the people who created the film, the actors, the actresses, go support them. You know, they all deserve the support. They did a great job on these first two movies, and even some of the newcomers. I'm not going to name their names just because you'll go look up their names and you'll know who their characters are because the internet spoils everything. There's a lot of characters in here who are new that did really well, so I'm very happy with this film. I love it. I'm done talking. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Like if you did, subscribe if you're not already. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.